What is going on, everybody? This is Bronco Juggalo. First thing I want to say is sorry about all this headspace up here. My camera holder or my phone holder or whatever is being a little bit difficult today. Guys, it is time for another Wild Eye review. Before I get started, I want to thank Wild Eye for sending me this movie and for just being the best underground movie company in the world. I love them. Today, I am doing an anthology film called High Death. Kind of like high definition. This is high def. All the segments were filmed in high definition, and they all had certain rules they had to follow to be part of the anthology. Now, we have some well-known underground horror directors here. This movie came out in 2018. We've got Anthony Catanese, we've got Todd Sheets, we have Brad Sykes, we have Amanda Payton, and we have Tim Ritter. Some of the people in this movie is Julia Vallee, starring as Caitlin, and Dylan Fawn Harvey as the call girl in the Muse segment. This is 5 chilling new tales of terror from the makers of High 8, which all of those, I believe, were shot on 8mm film. Muse segment in this movie that's directed by Todd Sheets only cost $90 to film. But it's got some pretty interesting stuff involved. Especially when I saw that it said no CGI or computer special effects. But at the end of the segment, there was some, so I was wondering about that. Maybe he got a pass on it, or I don't know. But still, it's a really cool segment. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go through this a little differently than I do most reviews. I'm going to go through each segment one by one, and I'm going to give you pros and cons for each segment, okay? First segment that I'm going to talk about is the wraparound segment. It's called the Terror Tour, and it's 2 girls in Hollywood, and they're doing these stops along this tour that gets sent to their phones, and they go to each place and they watch a film on something, and then they go to the next spot, and that's how the anthology is shown. I really like the concept. I don't know if it was exactly if it was executed as well as it could have been. I think that they could have done a few things a little bit different to make it a little more interesting, but it does work out in the end, and the ending is pretty cool. Now, their acting in it is not perfect. The 2 main girls, they're okay, but they're not that good. It didn't seem like they were all that. It was like very robotic, very wooden. That's my only con for it, though. As far as the first segment, we have Death Has a Conscience. Now, I really enjoyed this segment, and it grabbed me right off the bat. And it really does kind of show you the evils of doing drugs like heroin. Things you shouldn't mess with. I have no real cons for this segment. Overall, this segment is genuinely creepy, and I really did enjoy it. I really like the look of Death in the movie. Yes, we actually get to see, Death, the Grim Reaper, and I really like his look. Honestly, I really like the message. I actually like the message of this one. I'm not a person who's into hardcore drugs and things like that, and I think they should be avoided at all costs, and this kind of shows one of the reasons why. And lastly, I really enjoy the makeup effects in this one. It was done really well, and it's really grotesque, and I just thought they did a really good job. Segment 2 is called Dealers of Death, and this is honestly my least favorite segment. This one was done by Tim Ritter, who's done some other movies that I really like, but this particular segment I just really didn't get into. It's about people that collect things like memorabilia and things from serial killers, and then they kind of like turn out to be serial killers themselves. It's kind of a demented story, but it was a little bit slow. That's my cons, really, is it was slow, and I just didn't like it. It felt like the 15 minutes or so that this segment was more like an hour. That's all about it that I really didn't like. I liked the gore effects. They were cool. It had this whole Hannibal thing going on where she was like cutting out pieces of his brain while he's still conscious and talking and stuff. That was pretty dope. But other than that, I just didn't really dig this segment. Segment number 3 is called Night Drop, and I really, really liked this segment a lot. It was a bit confusing at the end, but then I rewound it, rewatched it again, and I realized I had just missed some stuff. It's about like a movie rental place, kind of like a Blockbuster Video or something. And there's a guy on there working late. He's working the night shift. And a video comes through the Night Drop, and it's not one of theirs. And what's on it is just freaking grotesque. And then some weird shit starts happening within the store, and it's a story we've kind of seen before. But it was done well, it was imaginative, and I did enjoy it. I thought the concept was really cool, and the only downside to it was I think the guy that's in it, the main guy, the main character, his acting was not that good. I was not that impressed with him. But overall, it was a good entry. I enjoyed it. It's very atmospheric, very dark, and the late night feel in the video store makes it very spooky. Segment number 4 is called Cold Read, and it's directed by Brad Sykes, who also directed The Wraparound. Now, this may be my favorite segment. I'm not quite sure. It's a toss-up between this one, The Muse, and honestly, Death Has a Conscience. I like all of them very well. In Cold Read, a woman is going for an audition, and the audition turns into something horrific. And it's a really cool look into psychological terror. And I had a blast with it. I have no cons for it. But it was extremely well acted. It was unique. It was intriguing, and it was intense. And I just really enjoyed it. Segment number 5 is The Muse by Todd Sheets. Now, this is kind of The Devil's Candy meets Hellraiser. And believe me, it is definitely well worth it. I really enjoyed this segment. The gore and special makeup effects were fucking phenomenal. Really, really good. The acting was really good. There's only about 3 actors that had lines, and they all did well. There was a lot of physical acting going on in certain scenes. There's kind of like this weird orgy type scene, and that was done well. And this this segment has Dylan Von Harvey in it, so you gotta love that, especially because of the things she does in it. Thank you, Dylan. We love you so much. But the biggest thing about this is just the atmosphere. Just from the tone of this segment, the room that it takes place in, this is so dark and so creepy, and it feels so evil. If you're watching this alone at night in the dark, you're going to start looking around you going like, what the fuck's going on, you know? I really enjoyed it. Guys, I am not honestly the biggest anthology person, which, by the way, just confuses the shit out of Jason. I've just never really been that much into anthologies. I do enjoy them on occasion, and I'm even in one, and I really am grateful for that, because I'm glad that I'm in a movie, and that's awesome. But I'm just like, as far as my personal, pleasure of sitting down to watch a movie, I prefer like just a regular one-story movie, but that's just me. But overall, we have an anthology ranking coming up, and I wanted to get some more anthologies in to see if any of them make the cut. And I'm pretty sure High Death is going to be on the list. Once again, Wild Eye shows that they have another hit on their hands as far as I'm concerned. And this is a movie you guys definitely need to check out. So go and pick it up from wherever you buy your Wild Eye films. I think it may be even available on Hamilton Book. I'm not sure. It was at Walmart a while back. I'm not sure if it's still there. But it is definitely worth you checking out. This is Bronco Juggalo saying, until I get to my next Wild Eye review, peace out, y'all.
Somebody should have told you I'm the wrong one. All fun and games until you see me with the shotgun. Homie, I'm the